Good morning and welcome to the Closers Cafe on a chilly Thursday morning here in Central PA. We've got a special guest, and as I take care of a couple of housekeeping items, get this shared on the different platforms. Whoops, let me turn that down. Let me just knock this out, and we're going to get in. I'll tee up what the topic and the plan is, and we're going to get right to it. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on much else other than doing this strategy and basically taking my simple 3-step system, which for those who are interested, you want a deep dive walkthrough, you can register. Our next upcoming workshop is this afternoon at the time of this recording. It's onedealaweek.com. It's at noon Eastern. If you can't make it live, you should still register. Unless something goes wonky with the software, you'll have a replay, etc. So we're going to take that simple 3-step system and apply it in Hank's market. Hank is in the ATL, the Atlanta area. So we're going to find a deal or deals. We're going to do outreach to buyers and maybe even off-market sellers, time permitting, depending on how quickly we can go through things here. And I'm going to demonstrate. I'll be making the calls and the outreach. And then again, if we have time, Hank may do some himself. But if nothing else, Hank will ask questions and get points of clarity, etc., as we go through. So I hope everybody's excited to see this in action. So this is my simple 3-step system that I've been following to close a deal a week every week since September. Since late September, I've closed 18 transactions. And taken 7 new listings, and I have 6 more in escrow. Now, not 100% of those were from this system and these simple 3 steps, but a lot of it was either directly or indirectly. So let's get right into it. The first thing we need to do, hold on, I got to share my screen. The first thing we need to do is I need to share my screen. The first thing we need to do is find a deal or a potential deal. So we have this Google Doc, which I am happy to share with anyone who is interested. You can DM me or you can join me for the workshop later today, onedealaweek.com. And I'll have this and some other resources for all the attendees after the session. There are more than 13 ways on here. I don't even know how many on here. Some of them directly from your MLS. Some of them are little shortcuts and little, I would say, like kind of cheat codes of places to start with. And so because I don't have access to Hank's MLS, I'm going to show one of the simple ways that you can use the portals that we all have access to, all the consumers have access to, as a little bit of a shortcut. So Hank, what city or zip code are we looking for a deal in Atlanta area this morning?
Let's try Lithonia. We had looked at some things in Lithonia before. Let's try Lithonia.
Beautiful. So we're going to, I'm just on redfin.com. I pulled up the city. There are 671 active listings. I'm going to very quickly here just go to some filters. I'm going to go time on Redfin. I'm going to say more than 45 days. Let's see what happens when we do that. 432. So we didn't skimp down too much on that. And then let's do fixer upper. And we've got 20. Beautiful. What about this one? How's this look for you, Hank?
Oh, okay. What's that?
3
What's
bed,
that
2 bath,
address?
1,200 square feet, 152. It's been on for 82 days. This is all systems go for me. I'm going to call this listing agent.
Okay.
I got to find her cell phone. I have been having problems with my Wi-Fi. I'm hoping that's not creating problems for everyone on the other end. It's been a little finicky all week. All right, let's go. We're going to call direct. Let me, there's 678 916 9358. As I call her, I'm going to show this right here, which is, no, I'm sorry. They like to ask to make these calls.
Recorded for quality purposes.
We may have to call several listings agents before we get one that answers live. Such is life.
Hello. Thank you for your call today. Please leave a message, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Teresa, hey, this is Josh with EXP Realty. I was calling about your listing on Marbut Road, 5676. Just had a couple of quick questions for you. When you have a minute, if you would, give me a buzz. This is my personal cell phone. Thanks. So I'm going to text also. Hey, Teresa, it's Josh with EXP. I just left you a voicemail. I was trying to reach you about your listing at 5676 Marbut Road. I don't know if I had the right number or not, based upon the automated reply I got. But whatever. Here we go. Let's find another one. What's going on with this one? How did I miss this one first? Look at this guy. What's going on here? 52 days. I don't know. This one probably makes sense to call.
5426.
See any reason we shouldn't?
Yeah, it looks like it may work.
See if I can get her number here. Where is her cell phone? You know, it's wild to me in doing this outside of my market. Like if I'm in my market, it's easy for me to, from the MLS have cell phone data, but it's like agents want to be, it's like they want to be a secret agent. Like it's so bizarre to me. Oh, this is a flat fee. So
I think that's
what,
one of
so
those.
this is a flat fee listing.
Yeah.
You should find the contact info in your MLS for that one, because
Okay.
that screams opportunity to me, because they don't have professional representation.
Right.
So
I think
I
they
would
just
definitely.
they just do paperwork, right? I think that's what they do. Just paperwork.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, look at this. Look at this. This has a board over a garage or something. What's going on with that? The rest of it looks nice. I'm going to try one more this method, and then we'll pivot and maybe try another method to see if we can find a deal and get the insider info, get the intel, so we can go to the next step, which is reaching out to active investor buyers. Oh, wow. This is, oh my goodness. What are we doing?
Oh,
What
wow.
are we doing? Okay. 530 days. What is going on with this one? Corner lot, 2 dwellings. I don't know. Something seems weird with this. I mean, this has been a lot of days on market. Well, we're just trying to have a conversation. So let me see if I can find this guy. Let's see here. Okay, let's hope that this is his actual cell phone. Let's see what we got here. My goodness. Josh Schoenly, EXP Realty. I'm calling about one of your listings. I just find it unbelievable. Hi, is this Edwin? Edwin, good morning. It's Josh Schoenly with EXP Realty. How are you? Good, good. Hey, I'm looking at 960 Stone Mountain. What's going on with that? Okay.
BPO last year,
Okay.
but my price for last year, the starting listing should have been like 160.
Yeah.
They came in at 285.
Oh, holy smokes. Okay.
So I have to do market analysis every 30 or 60 days to try to get that price down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the property itself. You're just looking, but
I'm just looking at the pictures online.
Yeah, it's a total rehab. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And so there are 2 dwellings? What am I missing there? Okay.
Yes, sir. There are 2 dwellings there.
Okay.
And I have pictures of the other one in there, not because sometimes I have to run people out of there. It is right in front of a bus stop or right behind a bus
Oh
stop.
boy. Okay.
And I think I've got a few people that, again, every once in a while, I've got a neighbor who kind of calls me and watch out for me as well.
Yeah.
It could be a real nice property. It really could be a real nice, but again, for the right price.
For an investor, would you say it would be better as a fix and flip or to keep in their portfolio as a rental?
Again, Josh, my personal opinion is that's going to be a tear down and rebuild.
Okay. Okay.
So if he did that, then that'd be a good flip.
Okay.
And if you can do the other house next to it, that would be great. I've had a couple of people wanted a bed and breakfast.
Oh, all right.
And I was like, that's a good idea because it's, again, on the bus route right down the street from Stone Mountain Park.
Okay.
It's less than 2 miles from Stone Mountain Park. Expressway, about another 3 miles maybe.
Okay.
So it's a good property. Just trying to get that price down for the work that's needed.
What have you had many offers like recently on it? I mean, obviously it's been listed for quite a while. Have you had any recent offers on it?
I have recently, and the people came in below list like 10 grand, and they wanted this whole steadfast at 140. So then I think we just reduced it yesterday to 141 or something.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna reach out to some of our investors on this to see if we have anybody that might be ready, willing, and able to tackle this and get you an offer and finally get you paid on this thing. I mean, your compensation per hour on this one when you do sell it, I can't imagine how little that'll be, but
Oh, bro, it'd be less than that because I've been working that property like 6 years.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Before the foreclosure actually went through. So
God bless you.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just need to get that one sold.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get to work on this with my boots on the ground. His name is Hank. He's in that market there.
Okay.
Do you have anything else active or off market that might be a good deal for an investor?
Not at the present time.
Not at the present time.
The ones
Okay.
that get like that, they've been going kind of quick.
They've been snatched up quick. Right on.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate your time. I can't make any promises, but we'll see what we can do and maybe get you paid on this thing.
That works for me, my friend. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Edwin.
Have a good one. Yes,
You
sir.
too. Bye-bye. The reason I was languishing or languishing, that's a unnecessarily fancy word, is when it's like when you put friction in front of the conversation, you're just losing conversation opportunities.
Mhm.
And the number one KPI in this business, if you want to do more deals, sell more properties, take more listings, etc., the number one KPI is more conversations. And so the first phone call I made, it was some automated system. The second one, it was, that one doesn't really count because it was a flat fee listing. And it actually then did ring Edwin directly, but I had to give him like name and number. And it's not a lot of friction, but any friction is is not ideal. So anyway, regardless, that was a great conversation, and it was good enough for us to have the insider information and to start to do outreach to cash buyers. Now, I want to emphasize something before we do that. It does not matter if we sell that deal. It would be great, and he was a great guy, right? It's good natured, wonderful attitude, and not all calls are like that.
Right.
And I would love to help him sell it, but it doesn't matter. Or you should detach, not you, anyone here, detach yourself from the result of that specific deal or property. It is bait we can now use to find the active, ready, willing, and able investors who are going to, like, that we could maybe be making offers this afternoon with. That's all this is. And it might be an offer on this property, or it could be an offer on some other property. Who cares, right? So Shalon said, yeah, they barely answer around here. I mean, around here too. And Spencer, good morning to you. Here's what we're going to do now. I'm going to log into my lead deck account on the laptop, and then I'm going to tweak a couple of things, and I'll show you why and what I'm doing. And then I'm going to switch over to my phone, and we're just going to start to make some calls, texts, and emails to the active investor buyers in the market. Okay. So what I'm going to do first is, let me share my screen again, is I'm going to go to my lead deck account, leaddeck.ai. And in the profile, I'm going to tweak my outbound scripts. I'm going to tweak them. I'll explain why, and then you'll see it in action. So I'm going to tweak them first. I'll explain why I'm doing this, and then you'll see it in action. So I'm going to go to buyer outbound scripts because that's who I'm starting with. I've got a deal. Now I'm going to do outreach to the active buyers. So the subject line for the email is going to be for first name, so the recipient's first name. Possible deal, let's see, foreclosure deal in Lithonia. Looks like you're a pretty active investor in the Lithonia area. Curious if you're looking for any deals right now. We have one bank owned foreclosure property that could be a good deal for the right investor. So I'm not telling them it's a deal. I'm just saying that this might be a good deal. Okay. Just curious if you're looking. We're asking a question. And then we're asking them to let us know either way. Let me know either way. So that's the email. Text script, we're going to model the same thing. Looks like you're a pretty active investor in the Lithonia area. Looking for any deals right now? Question mark. We have one. It's a bank-owned foreclosure that could be a good flip for the right investor. Just double checking that all looks good. So I'm going to save those scripts. And I'm going to do this next step too from my laptop before I switch to my phone. Why did I do that? I did that because that's the scripting I create once. And then once I switch to my phone and I start to tap to text and tap to email, that message will pre-populate and I can literally just hit send. In other words, I can be incredibly efficient with my time. It's literally just, I tap the text and then I send the text, and you'll see that in a moment. But now the next step, we need to find the targeted, we need to find some investor buyers. So I'm going to put in Lithonia here. And we've got cash buyers. I'm going to have Sean move this location up to the top of here. I don't know why we don't have that up at the top. Anyway, I'm going to check lead count for cash buyers. 773. Good golly, Miss Molly. Whew, that is a lot. 1,365. How many people are in Lithonia? It's got to be densely populated.
It is. It's just it's not very expensive. Certain
Yeah.
areas of
Yeah,
Lithonia.
but that's
So we
okay.
visit
It's
them.
reps, right? It's reps, and I'm sure you wouldn't be all that upset if you could do a deal a week there, at least to get started and get some activity.
Certainly not.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just going to start with I'm going to start with the cash buyers in Lithonia. I'm going to create this target and I'm going to run, and I'm just going to show you how quickly you can blast through 10 of these.
Wow.
So what's happening now is it's going and it's enhancing the data. Right now, I already have 10 investors in Lithonia that I can do outreach to. So what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to switch to my phone. I'm going to switch to my phone. Okay, so I'm logging into my lead deck account on my phone. Okay, this is what it looks like on a phone. It's not a true phone app, but if you log in from whatever phone browser you use, Safari or Google, whatever, it functions like an app. In other words, it is designed to function best or function well on your phone. So from here, I'm going to tap deal deck because I've got a deck of cards. In this case, Lithonia cash buyers. So I tap deal deck, and then I'm going to tap 10 investors. So the first 10 show up. The first one is Barbara. Barbara owns 19 properties. 19 properties. I mean, that's pretty good. Let's see if Barbara's looking for any deals. Not only that, look at this. When I tap on Barbara, I see the properties, the estimated value, equity in her properties. She's got 8 million in equity in them. The average price is 521, and I've got a bunch of data. I'm not going to do this today. Actually, maybe I will. Sean's been a wizard with this thing. I can tap this purple microphone button. It will record my call, just my side of the call, okay? Because that's the most legal and compliant way we can do it. It'll record my side of the conversation and use AI to say, hey, these are a few things that you might have done better in that call. It's pretty cool. So in fact, I'll demonstrate it. So I'm going to tap that button. And when I tap it, it says record and call. So I'm calling now. I don't think that was the right number. Am I in the right deck here? Hold on. This is interesting because it's 717 phone numbers. Oh, but there's a 404 number. 404 is the ATL, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see here. I'm going to call the 404 number. And because it's so easy and fast to get information, I don't spend a ton of time on each individual investor because there's lots of them out there. This is exciting. Just listening to the phone ring. Here we go. Yes, I was trying to reach Barbara. Looks like she's a pretty active investor in the Lithonia area, and we've got a deal. It's a bank-owned foreclosure that could be a good one for the right investor. So I'm just curious if you're looking for any deals, or maybe know anyone who might be interested. If you could let us know either way. This is my direct cell phone, 717-571-0456. Thanks. Very simple voice message. Now, that was a landline. If it was a cell phone, I would immediately tap to text it. Okay. But this cell phone number didn't seem to be the right one, but I'll show how quick and easy. Look, if I tap, I tapped to call again. If I tap the text button, that automatically pre-populates. That's the edited script. So I could literally just send that. And you know what? I'm going to send it anyway. Who cares? They may know. Here's what I've found is that usually these numbers are related to the person in some way, shape, or form. I've picked up multiple clients who I had messaged the dad or the son or the sister or whoever, and they shared the information with the right person, and that person then reached out to me, or they even told me, I think you're trying to reach this person. Here's his cell phone.
Hmm.
So before I move on to the next one, I want to show you how quickly and easily you can tap to email. So we changed that email script. If I tap the email button, it just brings up the email client on my phone, and that script that I edited, bing, done. I go back to the app. There are 3 emails here. I'm going to try all 3. You just never know. And email costs, I mean, I'm sending email through my Gmail that doesn't cost anything. Okay. So all 3 of those. Boom. Now, let's go to the next card in the deck. So that was Barbara. Let's go to Philip. Philip owns 51 properties. 51, value $26 million. The best number is a mobile number that's on the DNC. I typically will call the investor buyers if their number's on the DNC. I absolutely will not call off-market sellers. So we haven't gotten into the seller targeting yet. I do not call them if they're on the DNC, but I will and have called the investor buyers if it's on the DNC. I'm not going to do that today because there's another mobile number that says it could be a good one. So I'm just going to call the mobile first. Who am I trying to reach? What's this guy's name? Philip. This is the, oh no, I don't have the script up here for this. You guys, you all saw the script. I edited the script. I mean, the script of the phone, the email and the text script are basically what I say. Hey, Philip, or I'm trying to reach Philip. My name is Josh with EXP Realty. And the reason I was calling is it looks like Philip is a pretty active investor in the Lithonia area. We have a bank-owned foreclosure that might be a good deal if you are looking for any or know of anyone who might be interested. If you could let me know either way. This is my personal cell phone, 717-571-0456. Thanks. So voicemail, I'm going to tap to text that cell phone. Easy peasy. And it looks like this is probably a good email for him. Why do I think that? Because it's his name at Yahoo. It's his name at Yahoo. And I might be making an unfair stereotype or assumption, but if he's got 51 properties, he's probably been in the game a while. And so it's less of a red flag to me that it's a Yahoo email address. I give my wife shit all the time because she still uses a Yahoo. And I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Get a Gmail. But that is my guess there. So I think it's probably pretty likely that that's a good one. Here's another one. The next one in the deck. This is pretty incredible. 53 properties. 53 properties. But it looks like for whatever reason, there's no contact info, which is okay because I want to demonstrate another cool feature in here. I can actually, for another credit, I can run another layer of skip tracing to see if there. Ooh, and we hit the jackpot. The extra layer of skip tracing brought back 5 phone numbers and 4 emails, and at least some of them I can see from the emails are right because this person's name is I'll just say M. Harrison, and the emails look pretty accurate. So in this scenario, just because it came back, I'm gonna tap to email these 4 emails. All 4, one of them will be the good one. And honestly, like, again, this cost me nothing to do, and I did it. I sent all 4 in a matter of 11 seconds. I might even be overestimating. Okay, and here's what I will say about these investor buyers. They will reply to email because they're always they're deal junkies. They're always hunting deals. So if you're teasing a deal, they're likely to respond, and I get a pretty high response rate from that.
Mhm.
I'm calling. I would say that earlier in the week, I get a better answer rate, number one, but any time is better than no time. But earlier in the week, I get a better answer rate. And also the time of year, we're fighting upstream a little. I'm not suggesting we shouldn't be doing the work. I'm just saying that like people are, some people are, in holiday mode. Michael, hey, this is Josh with EXP Realty. Looks like you're a pretty active investor in Lithonia and the surrounding areas. And I was calling because we have a bank-owned foreclosure that could be a good deal for the right investor. I don't know if you're looking for any deals right now or know anyone who might be, but this is my personal cell. If you could let me know either way, 717-571-0456. So that was him. I could tell. It's nice when you can tell by their voicemail that you've got the correct, the correct person. It's just like, I would say that when you get that correct person like that, it's way more likely that they will respond versus, when you get a generic voicemail, I'll still leave a message, but you don't know for sure that you've got the right person. So I'm going to do a couple more here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I'll demonstrate next, because I want to show people the entire cycle of the 3 steps. I'll demonstrate next what we would do when we have if we've had a conversation and they're looking for deals, but they don't like this deal for one reason or another. Okay. So next one up on my list is Lisa. Lisa, I'm going to do the tap to email, 3 emails. That one had to be under 10 seconds. The 3 emails are done. And let's give. Yeah, hi. I'm trying to reach Lisa. This is Josh with EXP Realty. I'm calling because it looks like you're a pretty active investor in the Lithonia, Georgia area and surrounding. And we've got what looks to be a potential deal. It's a bank-owned foreclosure. And just calling to see if you are looking for any deals right now or know anyone who might be interested. If you could let me know either way. This is my personal cell phone, 717-571-0456. Thanks. We'll see about that. I'm going to do one more. And then we're going to pivot, and I'm going to show you how quickly and easily you can then identify potential seller targets as well. So let me send that. Boom. Okay. So one more on the buyer side. And unfortunately, when we do something like this, in a perfect world, we would have got, the first listing agent to answer and the second investor buyer to answer. We don't live in a perfect world, and people are busy. And again, I have a growing amount of evidence that if we had been doing this on Monday or Tuesday, we would probably have a better pickup rate, et cetera. But better now than never. Okay, so this one, 73 properties. 73. Let me send the email first. And we're going to make the call. And then we'll go and see if we can find, or I'll demonstrate how we would go and find the off-market possibilities as well. Yeah, hi, this is Josh. I was trying to reach, I don't know if it's David. And it looks like you are a pretty active investor in the Lithonia area. I was calling because we have a deal that could be a good one for the right investor. It's a bank-owned foreclosure. And so I was just calling to see if you're looking for any deals or maybe know anyone who might be. This is my personal cell. If you could let me know either way. Thanks. The reason why I was hesitating there, the naming, it was like I think it's a foreign person or foreign, and so it's I don't even know how to pronounce the first name, middle name David, which is very common, and then the last name anyway. So I got a little spooked there. The other thing working against me, this does matter, is I'm calling from an out of town area phone number. If I was calling with a 404 or what else is Atlanta area?
770.
Right. If I was calling with one of those numbers, the answer rate, I would have likely had somebody who answered. Even if it was the wrong person, I likely would have gotten an answer. Okay. I have no doubt that from that outreach, I've done this enough now to know I'll get at least 2 of them to respond, even if I make no more outreach. That was 5 or 6. I'm telling you, before the end of the day today, at least from looking statistically speaking, doing this work exactly as outlined for several months now, 2 out of 5 or 6 typically respond in some form or fashion. It might be a text, it might be an email. All you're looking for is, the opening to a conversation. Okay. Let's assume that we heard back from one of those and they only are interested in off-market deals, because that does happen. Well, I can go back to Lead Deck, and actually, first and foremost, let me do this. In your profile, you can edit your outbound seller scripts as well, and I need to get Sean to add that so it's clear. The email subject line for first name, RE, the street address of their property. Hey, first name, is there any chance you'd consider selling your property at street address to a private client of ours this winter? The text message, pretty much the same. Okay, so I'm good with that. Those are good to go. But I may, as we get to the end of the winter, I would change this to this spring. I could also say in the next 45 to 90 days. But having that extra little identifier, I have found, does help and makes it work a little bit better. So once I've got that clear, I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and now I'm going to go seller target, and I'm going to go Lithonia. And once I have the investor buy box, maybe they're looking only single family. Maybe they're only looking for townhome condo. Maybe they're only looking for multifamily, small multifamily. That would be the first thing that we would look at. So we choose the city. I'm sorry, that would be the second thing we look at. Then we could choose any or all. We can choose any or all. Let's say we talked to one of these folks and they said, you know what? I really am kind of done with the whole flipping houses thing. We've been just locked in and focused 100% on multifamily properties. So I've got Lithonia, multifamily, and when I hit this, I could also edit this, but with multifamily, I don't really care. I could edit the minimum bedrooms and the max value and all of this stuff. With multifamily, I don't care. I just want to have conversations with these people. When I check the lead counts, look at this. There are 6 absentee out of state. There are 19 absentee in state. There are 6 senior owners. There are 4 tax default. That's the list that I want to start with. It's a small list, but man, it is a potentially motivated list. So I choose tax default, and I'm going to save and run that list down. Okay, that's running in the background. And I'm going to go back to stopping the screen share, because I'm going to go back to the web app here. And oh, there we go. I go to my deal deck. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay, it just took a second there. So those 4 properties now are showing up. Notice buyers are green, sellers are orange. I'm going to go 4 properties. Look at this. I've got a Google Street View of the property. I've got the address. I've got what quick list are they on. This is out of state. They own it free and clear. and it's tax default. It's behind on taxes. Pretty good, pretty good. I'm going to view the card, and this is one where there was no contact data readily available. So I'm going to do that enhance once again and see if we get a match. So it's enhancing. Okay, it found 2 contacts, but no information. So what would I do in this scenario? Well, if I really wanted to buy this property, or if I had somebody that really wanted to buy this property, this is what I would do. And I may actually, oh no, I'm sorry. Geez, there is a cell phone here. So I'm going to do that. But if I didn't get that, I've got the mailing address. I've got the mailing address. I could just send them a postcard or a letter that says, Jean King, I'm sure I'm pronouncing that terribly. Would you consider selling your property at 6696 Chup Road to a private client of mine in the next 90 days? Simple as that. I didn't realize I didn't scroll down far enough to get to the actual contact info. So I'm going to tap to email. Notice the subject line, for first name, RE, the address. Boom, sent, easy, done. Should I call or should I text or should I both?
Let's do both.
Okay. So I'm gonna tap to record this one.
Now, are they in California? Is that what it said?
So the mailing address was California, but it's got a 713 phone number. What's this? 713 is not one of yours?
No.
Okay, then I think it is a California number.
Okay.
Which also means I'm calling way too early.
It's like
that is something to be aware of. I hadn't thought of that. And honestly, we don't have a lot of, when I'm doing this work, we don't have a lot of California owners in Central PA.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be aware of it often.
713 is actually Texas, Houston.
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit more relieved.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got no answer. I'm going to send this text message. Boom. Okay. 1 down, 3 to go. 1 down, 3 to go. Let's see here. Let me go to the next one in the deck. Wow, that's interesting. It's like right nearby. Different owner, but it's right next door to it. DNC, so I'm not going to call. There's 3 phone numbers. They're all in the DNC. I'm not going to call, but I'm going to enhance to see if I can get an email. And if I can't, this is another one that I would just then send direct mail to. And I've got the mailing address, which is different than the property address. Okay, so I got no emails. So I would have to go the mail route on this. But I want to highlight how amazing this data is. So this property, I can see that it's absentee owner in state. They own it free and clear. They're tax default. And I can also see that there had been a notice of sale for foreclosure years ago on the property. So somehow or another, they resolved that and figured all of that out. But like, there was previous distress, there was current distress. This is someone that it would make sense to invest time into. And for the cost of, basically $1, you could send them a letter. And that is an artifact that they will hold on to or might hold on to, even if they're not ready to sell right now. Okay, here we go. I got one that is not on the DNC. So let's go ahead. Let me just check this again here. This is, what is this? Where's his name? Oh, there it is. Jeez. Right in front of me. Okay. We're going to, call. Yeah, hi, I was trying to reach Todd. I know this is completely out of the blue, and I'm sure it's a long shot, but I'm curious if you would consider selling your property at 2610 Wiggins Street to a private client of ours this winter or even early springtime. We've been looking for properties and just haven't found anything on market that fit. If you could let me know either way, I would greatly appreciate it. And my name is Josh, and the cell phone is 717-571-0456. Voicemail, tap to text. This is, maybe I reversed it. His name might be Xavier Todd. I thought it was Todd Xavier. Well, whatever. I'm going to tap to text it. It's a blue text, which means I'm sending to an iPhone. That's encouraging. The rest of the numbers are DNCs or landlines. So the other thing I'm going to do, there are 3 emails. I'm going to send to all 3 of those emails. And I've got one more. And then what I want to do is I kind of want to summarize what we've gone through here. I'm going to share an example of a 1-page plan and some expectations on what to expect if or when you do this same work as well. So this one, DNC, but there's one that is just from a timing perspective. This one, I'm just going to go right to text. I'm not even going to try and call. It's a blue text as well. So that's iPhone to iPhone. Or you know what? No, it's not. It showed as blue, but then it didn't. There are 3 emails. So I'm going to send those as well. And this one has also had a previous foreclosure notice of sale on it years ago. It's tax default multifamily. Okay, so that was 45 minutes. And I was narrating, and it's not my market. Meaning, if Hank were to do that same amount of work in his market, maybe not day 1, but day 2, 3, 4, he could probably get all of that done in 30 minutes or less. Maybe not, because he's calling, he's going to get a higher pickup rate, he's going to have more conversations, etc. My point is this. We reached out on 3 listings. We reached out to 5 or 6 buyers, and we reached out to 4 potentially motivated sellers in a very short window of time, thanks in part to Lead Deck on our phone. If Hank, you, or someone else were to follow that simple plan, and you did that, for example, or here's my recommendation. If you want to, or if your target is to sell a property a week, to close a deal a week, it's 52 over the next 12 months, over the next 52 weeks. My recommendation would be to do this work that we just did like this for a minimum of 1 hour per day, 4 days per week. You want to close 4 deals a month? If you do this activity 4 days per week, most of the time you can get it done in an hour. Sometimes it may go longer because you're having more conversations. Sometimes it may be less because, like a day like today where, the pickup rate was, we only got 1 to pick up out of all of that outreach. But I also planted a bunch of seeds, meaning I sent a bunch of emails. I left a bunch of voicemails. I sent a bunch of texts. And over time, some percentage of those are going to respond. When they respond, I'm now in conversation and I can determine, does this person want or need my help? And how, what kind of help do they need? They're looking to buy or they're looking to sell. And can I help this person? That compounded over time, I can virtually guarantee you, will lead to more transactions. And if it doesn't, there is something else with your process that we need to look at or address or fix. It may be your skill, your communication skills. It may be your like the legal or the paperwork aspect, right? The document aspect. Something's falling apart there. But from a simple from simply having more conversations, that process compounded and done on a regular basis, conversations is the number 1 KPI. This will put you into more conversations with people that, listing agents, they want and need your help. They've got a listing that won't sell. The cash buyer investors, they are, most of them anyway, are, I've had several conversations where at the beginning they're like, yeah, I'm not really looking at anything. And then we end up talking for longer and they're like, okay, send me what you got. I can't help myself, right? So like they're almost always looking for deals. And then the motivated sellers, that is the one that you have to have, that is the highest number of conversations to deal ratio, but it's part of the reason why it's third on my list, right? And we only do that work when we have the certainty. Like I skipped ahead because I wanted to demonstrate. We didn't actually have a buyer for multifamily, but quite honestly, we do, because I could go back to the tool, and if I go to dashboard and new buyer target, and I pick multifamily investors, I'm hoping I don't have egg on my face here. I think Sean fixed this. We were having an issue with this thing, but I've got four of them. Multifamily investors, meaning they own 5 or more properties, and at least one of them is multifamily, and they purchased at least one in the last 3 years in Lithonia. So, even if I haven't had a conversation with that person, if I get a motivated seller that says, yes, I need to sell this multifamily property, I can go and find the buyer, right? So it's just like, you're just playing matchmaker. You're the deal maker. You're the linchpin in the process. You just have to have conversations. But the nice thing is, with this 3-step process, you're having conversations with people that are more likely, more readily, and in many cases want and need to talk to you. So it's easier to have those conversations. That listing agent that I talked to, I mean, that guy was awesome. I'd love to do a deal with him, right? Great guy, good-natured. What wasn't frustrated. Well, I'm sure he was frustrated, but he wasn't lamenting the fact that he spent 6 years on this listing. 6 years, right? Now, selfishly, here's what else and why else I like to start with listing agents. Okay. There's a couple of reasons. So the first one is it's easy, meaning you're calling someone that wants to talk to you. If you have a buyer, and you either already do or you will soon, they want to talk to you because they've got a listing that hasn't sold. And they want to talk to you specifically because you're a licensed professional. If the investor called directly, that conversation would not have gone that way with Edwin if it was an investor. I mean, maybe it would have, but most real estate agents have a different they respond differently if it's an investor or a consumer calling versus another one who's like us, a licensed agent, right? Like he shared intel with me that he probably would not openly share with the general consumer or the investor. Okay. So it's an easy conversation for you to warm up. It's like when you go to the gym. The hardest part is getting to the gym. The next hardest part is the warm up to get into the actual work. The calling of listing agents is the warm up. The other reason why I like talking to listing agents is we're at EXP, and we are rewarded when we recruit agents. Specifically, we get paid revenue share. I got paid my revenue share yesterday, direct deposited into my account. I love revenue share. The more agents I talk to, the more possible connections there are. And at any given time, if I talk to 5 agents, 1 or 2 of them are thinking about or wondering, am I at the right brokerage? Is this place actually providing value, et cetera? And I'll weave in something for Hank. Hank just recruited his first agent to EXP. She literally, I don't think she's shown up in the dashboard yet, but her license transfer, as far as we can tell, happened yesterday. So really cool. So I'm talking with other people in the business. And then the other thing is, if I actually do sell the listing, like A, that's kind of a bonus. B, they're going to be like, that guy would be thrilled if Hank could sell his property and actually get him paid on that, which makes him more likely or open to a conversation about EXP if that's part of your business model. Okay. Like, I'm not suggesting that you have to have that as part of it, but if it is part of your model, like, the more agents you talk to, the better. So we start there because it's easy and we get in motion. The investor buyers are the next easiest because they're in market. Now, it requires some skill. You get some that are pretty, you'll get a variety of personalities, let's say, on that. But that's good practice and good reps. And when you detach yourself from the outcome of any one call or any one deal, and you just commit to this as practice, that's literally the way I approach this. Your demeanor, your tone, et cetera, change. The other thing that changes when you get into a point where you have so much activity is your confidence and your give a bleep factor goes way down. And that makes you seem less desperate because you are less desperate. And then you're more attractive in the eyes or in the ears of the person on the other end of the line. So, Hank, I will be more than happy to build out a version of this like one-page plan, but I think you get the idea here.
Right.
I think you get the idea, and it literally comes down to how many days are you ready, willing, and able to commit? It's not a huge commitment. And what I can tell you with certainty, and what I can't say is I don't want to delay you getting started, but the next 2 weeks, admittedly, they're holiday weeks, right? So like, I'm not, you obviously wouldn't do this, or at least I wouldn't do this on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, or New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, but you can do it around that. Listing agents are still going to welcome your calls outside of those 2 days. And investor buyers, your pickup rate will be lower than after the first of the year, but you'll still get some. What I can say with certainty, or at least some degree of certainty, is if you did this, what we did today here, for 4 days a week for the entire month of January. So the 5th is the first full week of January. If you did that 20 times over that first block of 28 days, you will have so much opportunity. You will only then need to do that to then reprime the pump. Because what happens is you start to have conversations. Now, Edwin didn't have another deal, but I had a conversation. We had a mastermind for our Lead Deck Founders Club members on Tuesday. And on that call, I called a local agent, just like we did today. I called him. When I asked him if he had any other deals on market or off market that might be good for an investor, he gave me 2 whoppers. Great deals. Well, at least I won't say great deals, but great bait. He gave me bait that I can use. They're off market. One was a 38 unit apartment complex. One was a 3 unit that was a little, it's a 3 unit, but it's not technically zoned as a 3 unit. So it's like, it's a little bit fishy, but that actually makes a good story. So like, it gives me ammo when I'm having conversations. My point is this. Many people think this business or this process is a linear process. It'll go here and here and here and here. And what happens is it's like a plane flight. When you see like if you pull up, I had to make a flight reservation to fly back from Louisville. Our son's home for vacation. He's taking his car back for the spring because he needs to be able to get around a little bit better, get to the baseball complex, etc. So we're driving him down and I'm flying back. When you pull up Southwest, it shows like on the map, it shows like this perfect like looping straight line. That's not what a flight looks like. The whole time they're going like this. The whole time they're all wiggly. That's what happens with this. I didn't get to talk with any of those investor buyers, but I guarantee when or if I do, one of them is going to say, I've moved on to bigger deals. I want 10 or more apartment complexes, right? So now I've got this over here, and I may not want to immediately go and find that, but the world and the universe is a wild thing, because then when those opportunities start to open up, or the possibility of them start to open up, you start to notice and hear things that you didn't before. So those opportunities just in many cases start to appear for you if just by being aware. So all of that to say, I hope you have a good plan. I hope those of you listening got some value and saw in practice that it requires work, but it's not like, we're not talking about crazy hard work, right? And if you follow the process, you find a deal, use it as bait, you reach out to the buyers to clarify their buy box so that you can then confidently and competently reach out to off-market sellers and be able to know that you've got the cookie for them. Also, you can do, like, it gives you more confidence if you're doing outreach to for sale by owners and expireds, and you know that you've got a guy that will come make an offer on their property this afternoon. Your tone and your like, and you also, then you don't care if you get the listing, sell it, right? Come up with a deal, create a deal with them. So anyway, bouncing around a little bit at the end here, but I hope that was helpful, Hank. Before we hop off, Is there anything that is unclear or you have questions about or you need some clarity around?
Right. First of all, I really appreciate the time. This was awesome again. I've been kind of out of commission for a little bit, and this new functionality is awesome because that was kind of when I was doing this last month, and I'm trying to do emails and make phone calls. It kind of slows the process down. This is definitely going to speed everything up. The new functionality is awesome. I had a quick question.
Can I hold that question? I want to point something out to that.
Mhm.
We got to that point with this through my own pain, meaning I figured out what worked from a manual perspective. What messaging, what modalities, etc. And I went through the pain of the manual work of that to figure out what works, and then went to automate. What most, and this is, I would say this is just small business owners in general, they just want to immediately go to like, what's the automated easy button? And usually you can get to that point, but like if you skip the part of figuring out what actually works, that you know, the non-scalable version of what works best, and then how do we take what we know works and then figure out a way to scale it or automate it, you know, that's you know, that's how you ensure that what you're automating, you're not just wasting time, right? Or you don't have the ladder up the wrong building kind of thing. Sorry, your question.
Right. Okay. So I was just wondering, you know, I haven't really worked with investors. At what point, when you're talking to an investor and they want to, you know, maybe make an offer on a deal, are you giving them like your buyer representation document? I'm assuming
At that point, if I'm making an offer,
okay.
and my buyer representation, and I don't know, I would assume there's something similar in Georgia, but in Pennsylvania, what I use is a single property representation form. So it's representation that's about you are giving me the authority to represent you on this property, because the active investors, the good ones, it's going to be hard to get a blanket representation agreement. Now, eventually you may earn that, maybe, but that's the approach I take. And you are one of many agents who have asked that same question to me over the last few months. And so it's a good question. It's a question that once you build up your pipeline, won't be as big a concern. Now, and you asked it more from the technical point, but I've gotten that question that's more from a mindset point from folks. So like, well, if I don't get them to sign the representation up front, then I might be working for free. Okay. But if you're doing this work and it doesn't work out with them, just go find and you have a real deal, go find someone who does value you and your time and the effort that you put in, et cetera. So a great question. That's how I handle it. I'm not suggesting that's the right or best answer for everyone, but that is what I do and how I handle it. And I take the assumptive approach. If I've built rapport and relationship with them, and I know either that they've demonstrated directly with me through their behavior, or I can see that they've demonstrated with the app, they have, they own 12 properties, 15 properties, 50 properties. I'm taking the assumptive approach. If I bring them a real deal, they're going to use me and value me. So like, I just assume, and when I demonstrate that I'm working on their behalf without expectation of compensation, that it creates a sense of reciprocity from them back to you. And if it doesn't, nicer to figure that out sooner than later, that they just don't value you at all, because you saw in your market, and this isn't every market, but there are lots of investor buyers. You could spend the whole year and not connect with all of the cash buyers in Lithonia. The whole year. And I mean, you shouldn't, and you won't need to. I mean, because here's the reality. Once you get to 10, 12, 15, maybe 20 of these guys and gals saved in your phone, it's all you need, because most of them are doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deals a year. And if you're a deal finder, a deal creator, a deal maker, it's just a matter of, okay, I've got this. Let me find in my phone or my CRM who are the 4 or 5 or people, 4 or 5 or 6 of these that this fits their buy box, and see where they're at, see what if they're looking.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate the time. Definitely.
Of course, I appreciate you being the guinea pig and being vulnerable enough to to hop on here with me, and I'll share. I'll build out that one pager and share it with you. And once again, just one last housekeeping item. If you're interested, we'll do a deeper dive on this 3-step process on the free workshop, onedealaweek.com. One deal a week, the number one deal a week.com. If you have any problem with the registration, DM me or text me. I will. I'll get you the link. Hank, thanks. If we don't chat, Merry Christmas.
We'll chat. We'll chat. We're definitely going to chat.
A very prosperous 2026.
Right. Thank you very much. Same to you and your family.
Thanks, Hank. Take care, buddy.
Thank you.